What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Footy Fanatics. I am back here with my boy Kiko. Listen, bro. How you doing? You good?
I'm excellent today.
You rocking a Spain kit. I'm rocking an Internacional kit. International week, innit?
Big week.
Nah, it was some good games out today. This whole actually international break. But there's honestly one place to start, and it was funny that it's almost the second to last game. Brazil and España. Nah, the game was crazy. 3-3 finish. Some good stuff on show, but there's only one place to start for me, honestly. And I'm not that this whole intro. Like, comment, subscribe. Lamine Yemal and Endrick. I can't say his last name because those two today, 16 years old. I think Yamal getting an assist, Endrick scoring his second goal, 2-2. Imagine your first two goals for Brazil. One at Wembley against England, the second at the Bernabeu against Spain, in Spain, for your future club, in front of Perez. I don't know, like, the kid is destined for something great. I don't know. What'd you think?
Exciting. What was it, a 3-3 finish? I think for me, the thing that kind of caught my eye the most was not you mentioned Endrick and the 2 goals in the 2 games, but big-time player. What is he, 16, 17? And it feels like Brazil, he's someone Brazil can go to in clutch moments. But in regards to the 2 players, I'm rocking the Spain kit, but I'm a Madrid fan. So, I'm Team Endrick. And one thing I will say about the player is I don't know yet this idea of destined for greatness. In my opinion, we need to see how he does it in Europe first. But my take on Endrick is I think this is a player that the links with Mbappe in Madrid have been kind of going, and that's the arrival everyone's excited about. But I'm so curious to see what Madrid does with Endrick coming in terms of his development, only because we have a luxury of riches up front. And I think with Endrick, respectfully, there is a hierarchy. There's Vinicius, if Mbappe comes in, and there's Rodrigo, Brahim, Joselu. So with Endrick, it's very curious to see how he kind of fits in. But in terms of his potential, listen, I'm not going to put him on the same level yet. But people are saying, this is like very reminiscent of when Ronaldo jumped on the scene back in 94. So I'm very impressed with the player. I love, people talk about all his qualities, all his abilities, but I think the biggest trait I like about him is he loves the spotlight. The celebration at Wembley, and then Perez kind of after the game and kind of being like, we're waiting for you at the Bernabeu. Like, this is a kid that the sky's the limit, but what do you think about Yamal?
Really quickly before Yamal, low-key Endrick, he's AI. I low-key think he's AI. You seen his Instagram? Every picture is like set up where it's an iconic picture. There's the only picture you seen a picture after he scored for Brazil in the under-17s, I think last season, where he's the Pele thing and he's like in front of everyone. Like, bro, that's an Endrick thing. But on Yamal, really quick, though, for what he's doing at 16 to be. Let's be real, Barca's most consistent and probably best attacker this season at the age of 16. We haven't seen anything like this for Barcelona. I'm not going to say in the world. For Barcelona, since...
You're going to say the M word?
Since Messi. Listen, we haven't seen... For Barcelona. Ansu Fati had his time where he came in and we thought things were going to happen. Injuries obviously played a factor. But Yamal, he's different class. I think his potential, I don't see him getting to Messi's level, but I can see him probably be a Ballon d'Or contender sort of thing.
And before you continue, like that is something that I find so interesting because with these 2 talents, they're going to the biggest rivalry in Spanish football. Endrick to Real Madrid, Yamal's already at Barcelona. And I want to make it very clear to the audience and to you right now, it could be a potential rival. These are 2 of the top 2 wonder kids in world football, but there also needs to be a realistic expectation that this isn't Cristiano Ronaldo Messi 2.0.
No.
I think
we won't ever see that again.
Yeah, I think that there needs to be a clear distinction that this is something totally different. But what I will say about Yamal is not only has he been one of Barcelona's most consistent players, very similar to with Endrick in Brazil and with Endrick in Palmeiras, Yamal is one of those players at Barca where he's a guy you look at and go to.
That's crazy.
Get us out of jail.
That's crazy.
And you're talking about a Barcelona with Rafinha, Lewandowski, and all these guys up front, and it's a 16-year-old that you're kind of looking at like you're waiting on his moment of brilliance. But that's a little rivalry that I'm very curious to see how that develops over time.
Yeah, I mean, Yamal, and we spoke about it in an episode before with Brahim going over to Morocco. Yamal had the chance to do the same. I mean, for him, he's a bigger star. So I think Spain was a good move for him, good decision. But this Euro is going to be interesting, especially like he could really put himself on the map. Barcelona is a big club, Champions League if they do well. But if he does well in his Euros, that can really put him on the map. And then, like you said, the rivalry. I don't think it's going to be a rivalry, but not to the extent of Messi, Ronaldo. But it's going to be interesting to see. But let's switch gears now. There's another two in Germany doing their thing. They smoked France 2-0, then smoked Netherlands 2-1 today. Florian Wirtz and Jamal Musiala. I don't know. We talk about Endrick and Lamine, but those two for me, they're the closest. I think those will really lead the flag for this gen. And I talked a lot of shit last episode, talking about the game is dead, this and that. There are a couple players, two being Endrick and Yemal, the next two Musiala and Wirtz, that will hold the flag. And those two in Germany are right now, for me, two of the best.
You know what's funny with Florian Wirtz? I might, correct me if I'm wrong to whoever's watching this. I think Granit Xhaka made a quote. And he said, I'm paraphrasing. He said, when he was at Arsenal, one of the top talents he saw live was Ozil. He said he was a Leverkusen, and he says Wirtz is on another level. And something about Florian Wirtz, because I think he missed a season through injury. And I think seeing him and what he's doing with Leverkusen, almost playing like a free role, where I've seen him play on the right cutting side. I see him playing centrally. Could play in my opinion, could play anywhere in the front three. But I think him and Musiala, I think Nagelsmann's been trying to do them out wide, but kind of has them inverted. I think in terms of technical ability, other than Ozil, does any German kind of come to mind? And I'm not talking about Toni Kroos' ability to pass the ball. I'm talking about, or Ilkay Gundogan. I'm talking about two guys with flair, can play 1-2, can get out of jail in space, and they're already. I mean, listen, Wirtz is at Leverkusen, but they look like they might win the Bundesliga. But then when you see Musiala and the role he's taking at Bayern Munich, I think that's a really good shout. I think those two players, man. Listen, Musiala ex-Chelsea. You know what I'm saying? Wirtz, he's going to get a big move. So I'm like, it's going to be very interesting to see what Germany ends up doing. And, this is Nagelsmann.
He's back. He's back. He was getting cornered a bit, but he's doing something over there. I think everyone is playing. I watched them today. They look fluid. They have an idea as to what they're trying to do. Even the clip that came out today where what's the Hansi Flick at the World Cup? They were looking at the screen, kind of going over details for the game for Spain, and Kimmich was not disagreeing with kind of the tactics that he had. And then you look, and you saw how the World Cup ended for Germany. How many consecutive World Cup group stage exits? 2 in a row.
Was it 2018,
2022? So
and bombed at the Euros.
So now Nagelsmann looks like he has them playing. Yeah. And obviously it comes down to some guy coming back.
Absolute legend of the game.
Guy coming back. Toni Kroos.
You know what's funny, man? Something about with Toni Kroos. Listen, anybody that knows football, regardless of if you're a Barcelona fan or whether you like Toni Kroos or not, the guy is one of the greatest midfielders we have ever seen. And I think the reason why he doesn't is he played for a team where the headliners were the front three. It was BBC. And then even in midfield, his partner, Luka Modric, in my opinion, is a top 5 midfielder of all time.
But is Kroos not?
The thing with Kroos,
he's a top 2 German player of all time. I think him
and Beckenbauer is the one.
Oh yes, you got Beckenbauer, Lothar Matthäus, and I think Lahm. Those 3 are the top. And,
he's on the Mount Rushmore
German
players.
Mount Rushmore. So that's 1. He's what, World Cup? How many? 3,
4 UCLs,
4 Champions League, 1 with Bayern. Bro, for me, he's got to be an all-time midfielder. He's top 10. And he's got to be.
And then I think what he changes for Germany is, one, he adds to the spine. Because you will have Manuel Neuer, you'll have Rudiger, then you have Ilkay Gundogan and Kroos in midfield. And then, like I said, the front 3 up top for Germany is young. Because it's going to be Musiala, Wirtz, Kai Havertz, and I guess whoever's partnering Kai up front. Right. But what I think Kroos brings is the leadership, the experience, Chouameni even said it too. He completely changes the dynamic because you now have a player where Rudiger or Sule or Jonathan Tah, they can play it to Toni Kroos and he can just dictate games.
See, I want to keep it on this real quick. And I saw a little debate on YouTube talking about midfielders like Kroos, and I'm going to relate them to guys like Xavi, Iniesta, and Modric. The debate on that kind of class of midfield, because that's who we know, at least our age, not necessarily when we grew up, but from about 2014 on, those guys have been in debates of who's the best. And Pirlo, you throw in Pirlo. The debate was, are people like Iniesta and Xavi, should they be considered better because they were in a system that suited their skill set? Yeah. Whereas guys like Kroos, even Pirlo, where you can throw them in different systems. They had to play in different teams and systems where they showed their quality. If we were to throw Iniesta in a Juve or throw Xavi in a Bayern, would we have seen the same level of quality? And that's why people like Modric, Pirlo are in a class above Xavi and Iniesta.
For me, it's a very tough debate because
take trophies out of it. Just talk quality and skill set.
Because when you look at Barcelona, it's more of a free-flowing football, but it's triangles, it's more 1-2s, it's more of a pressing game. Kroos and Modric, take their spells at Real aside, like you mentioned before, Kroos was a regular when Bayern early in the 2010s was winning. Modric was one of the best players in the Premier League. And then you see Modric's ability to take Croatia and elevate them at major tournaments. What I think for those two at Madrid, Toni Kroos and Luka Modric, what I would take them over Xavi and Iniesta for the sole reason of not only can they play in different systems, how you said, their versatility. And when I say that is Toni Kroos, in a sense, I don't want to say he's Xabi Alonso Pirlo, but I'm literally watching. I remember when he first arrived at Real Madrid in 2014, 2015, Ancelotti, and I deserve blame for this. I criticized Ancelotti because I did not understand having the balance of having Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, and James in the same midfield. Okay. There was no steal. There was no dynamicism. No legs, nothing. Yeah. But Ancelotti saw Kroos' ability to spread it, his ability to calm, what he brings to the game in terms of being able to dictate tempo. And I think for Toni Kroos to be able to do it at different setups, club football and international football, I think makes him unique. I think Iniesta and Xavi, Spain ended up adopting a similar style to what Barcelona did. Yeah. So it was like their whole career, it was the Barcelona way.
I'm going to make a case, and I hear it, because you're right. You throw those two guys, especially Kroos and Modric, in different systems, they'll flourish. But the case I'm going to make for Xavi and Iniesta, yes, they only were suited to that one style, but the quality of that one style we've never seen before.
Individually, they're better players in terms of technique.
But you know what? Maybe not in overall, but in terms of the skill set of passing, maybe vision, being able to dictate the tempo. I would say they clearly
vision over Toni Kroos.
Xavi? Bro, he's a scan king. This is all he does. It's like a dance for him. That's all he does. But in terms of that skill set, I would say it's I wouldn't say more powerful, but more impactful, just because the quality they show, bro, from 2008, Euro, World Cup, Euro, like that's a chokehold on the game.
No, I think they had a better apex.
Okay.
From 08 to 12. But let's also keep it a buck. Eventually, Iniesta went to Japan, and Iniesta went, and Xavi went to Qatar. So like, Modric is what, 38?
True, that's true.
And is still playing for Real Madrid. Toni Kroos retired from the game, and Germany was like, come back.
That's crazy.
So like that for me is, this debate has no real answer because you're talking about 4 of the greatest midfielders to ever play the game. But in my opinion, Xavi and Iniesta had a better prime in the sense of 2008 to 2012. It was a midfield adding Busquets that we will never see again. Yeah. But Toni Kroos and Luka Modric, bro, Real Madrid, people talking about Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and all these. They're willing to extend Kroos for one more season.
At the age of what, 34, 35?
Modric as well. So I'm like, bro, the longevity of these guys. It's a tough debate, but I'm leaning with Kroos and Modric.
Adaptability over just that one skill set. With as great as it is, you want to see your midfielders be able to be adaptable, different styles, and for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
I hear it. There's another midfielder made his debut, and he, honestly, for me, that's the thing, though. This Kobbie Mainoo, gotta say his name. He falls under the style of being adaptable to more like not a Kroos, more like a Modric. I'm not saying it's good, but he's not a tiki-taka.
Yeah, no.
He's more of an 8. And listen, 18, I don't know about you. United fans, all they do is Barca. Every time they have a academy product come through, Garnacho, we heard it before. Kobbie Mainoo was the same. I heard his name. I'm like, whatever. Like, you know what? He's not getting that many games at the beginning of the season.
Right.
Now he's really starting to pick up steam. And I'm watching him, but now I'm starting to believe the hype.
Right.
He's quality.
No, he is. And I think we said this on the last episode. I think Rio, the comparison was perfect. Not to say he will be him, but he's very reminiscent of Seedorf. And in the sense where he's
black.
It's his ability. He's on the shorter side, stocky. His ability in lower gravity, turns, able to take people on. I mean, you saw that clip where I think what was it again? Liverpool, where he's able to take on 2-3 guys, and it's like, no, he's a top talent. The only thing I would say about Kobbie Mainoo is, as talented as he is, I do think he also has the luxury of playing for United. And what I mean by that is he's playing for the top 6 club. If Kobbie Mainoo was playing for a club outside the top 6, do you think he gets a cap?
No.
Because look at Lewis Miley from Newcastle.
Yeah.
Not to say that, Mainoo is better, but...
Right. I hear you. And they're different profile. No, I mean, that's fair. That's a fair shout. And, I mean, that's also a question. Do we hype up wonder kids because of the clubs they're at?
Absolutely.
Like, literally. Like, I'm thinking, are we hyping Mainoo because he's at United? Why are we not hyping up Lewis Miley, who's been more consistent? But, you know what? It's a fair point. But I'm not going to take anything away from Mainoo. He played for England, and he showed levels. He showed that he deserves to be at that stage. So, I mean, the future is bright for him.
England's cooking.
England's cooking, not with Southgate though, but that's a whole other
that's debate. That's a whole other debate for a whole other episode.
That's a whole other debate. But I just want to really touch on something quick. And why are we talking about this? It's like
in 2024.
In 2024, obviously you saw Vini played in Spain today, and a lot of questions were asked about the racism that he's facing out there. A couple comments came back from Danny Carvajal, and I'm not even going to butcher the guy's name. It's a former Brazilian player. And it's the same rhetoric of, in Spain, they're not racist. They just have some people who are stupid, or just kind of dancing around the issue.
Yeah. Now,
in Spain, the stereotype is that it's a racist country, right? And then they want to come at Vini and say he brings it to himself. He provokes players. He pushes his antics. He deserves it. For me, bro, I look at Vini, bro, get the fuck out of there. Get out of there. Why are you still there? Like, at this point, when I hear the Lukaku's going to Italy, Vini going to Spain, they've shown themselves. Spain has shown themselves for what they are.
Yeah.
The Italian league has shown themselves for what they are. Forget them. Leave them. Like that's my view on it. I'm just tired of hearing the same things happening over and over again. Why are we giving them light? Vinny, why are you giving La Liga more eyes to that league when that's what they're giving you?
Yeah.
You're the victim here. They're treating you. You're the victim. You shouldn't have to deal with it. But listen.
So, and to piggyback on that, the first and foremost, I have to say, regardless of whether he provokes or not, why the hell would your response be a racial slur?
Exactly.
That's my issue. We're all fanatics of the game. We've watched the game. You can be frustrated and annoyed if a player's having these antics. But why on earth would the response be a racial slur? Yeah. You can literally say anything from your Spanish vocabulary, and that could fit that moment. But you decided to say something racial. My issue is, first of all, Atleti fans. I'm not trying to generalize anyone. Some of the things they've said, and you know what's funny?
Nah, it's crazy.
And it even goes back to Ronaldo, like some of the things they said to Cristiano Ronaldo when he was in that stadium. But we all saw what he did. I just think this goes up from the higher ups. I think the Spanish FA, if they don't tackle this on now, and let me throw this at you, as a Real Madrid fan. How many black players do we have on the team?
The whole team is black.
The whole team is black. And you know what's funny? The characters in that locker room, they're using that as fuel. You know what I'm saying? The more these stadiums and the more these fans start saying these racial slurs, Vinicius, Rudiger, Alaba, Rodrigo, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, these guys are going to elevate their game. So the more you say it, come, we'll take that. We'll listen. And then Vinny's going to do the same thing he did in the middle of the field with his fist held up high. They're doing nothing to stop it. And unfortunately, though, Rio Ferdinand said it as well, it's something that the FA... Is it realistic sanctions? Is it realistic banning sections of fans? I don't know.
It just depends how seriously you find the issue. And it comes to no one. The only kind of parties that I think could change, that could in terms of football, that could make an impact are either the people in charge, the players and staff, because the fans, you're in the stadium. Fans, you can tell, what are you doing, da-da-da. But if either the higher-ups bring crazy sanctions, I'm not talking about fines, I'm not talking about playing behind closed doors, I'm talking about points deductions and full-on relegation type stuff. If that's how serious you find the issue, you're going to find serious sanctions. Yeah. And then players, just don't play. Yeah. Just don't play. Walk off. Don't play, because you're going to find, there's stupid people all over the world. It's not even just Spain. It's England, Italy, France. You're going to find that. Yeah. So it's tough. It's tough because how do you sanction a club? That means you're sanctioning the fans that are being respectful and are doing the right thing. So, but it's how seriously you find the issue. And if you seriously care of eradicating racism from out the game, you're going to find a serious sanction. Yeah. But you seen the whole thing with Lukaku last season in at the Juve stadium. He got a yellow card. Yeah. He was getting monkey chants at him, and he got a yellow card. But so that just tells you where the people in charge, whether it's referees, people in charge of the game, find out how serious the issue is to them, and it's not. And
before we end, the one thing I would also say is also solidarity. We're with our boy Vinny,
of course.
But what I will say this is, I don't want to put pressure or say things unrealistic, but sometimes I wonder, would a statement, and they're young kids, and
that's the thing.
And I'm thinking to myself, would someone like a Nico Williams, a Balde, a Yemal, Ansu Fati, who are Spanish internationals, I wonder if they would ever be like, you know what, if this continues, we'll walk away. That's asking a lot.
Yeah,
that's their careers, and I'm not implying that's something they should do. I'm not implying that that's even something on the table, but I'm wondering, with something as drastic as Spain's best upcoming talents, who are players of color, being like, you know what?
Second guessing it. Yeah.
You know, if this continues, we won't put on the shirt.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. Y'all let us know what you think. Is Vini, and you know what? I've seen the other side too. I've seen people, Vini needs to stop. If that's how you feel, let us know in the comments, because we'll debate you now. I swear, I'll comment. I'll debate you on that. But yeah, listen, this was another episode. Footy Fanatics, Endrick, Yemal, Toni Kroos. That era, Toni Kroos, Pirlo, Xavi, Iniesta. Who's your midfielder that you prefer to watch, or who do you think is a better kind of style of midfielder? Let us know in the comments. It's another one. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. We got more coming. Listen, we got some. We want to up this. So let us know what you want to see. Footy Fanatics out.